Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. And bienvenido a parte 8 de esta serie de exámenes de GCSE. So, welcome to part 8 of this little series of GCSE. Practice your level, test your GCSE level of Spanish. And today we're going to look at prepositions. Those little words that we can't do without but drive us mad, because the problem with prepositions is whichever language you're learning, they're always different in different languages. We say things in different ways. So these are the sort of things that sort of, if you got them wrong, sometimes people would still understand you, but it's quite typical to get these wrong. If you know somebody who speaks perfect English, or what you think of as practically perfect English, they will still get prepositions wrong. They'll be the words they get wrong. You know, the to, at, in, on, they might say them slightly wrong because in their language they'll be different. So don't get too hung up about them, but, you know, at the end of the day, they're important words. We need them for our conversation, and we want to try and say things right. Anyway, now, as far as prepositions are concerned, in my series of books, and of course I'm going to put the videos down there that deal with prepositions, there's a playlist actually of prepositions. In level 1, that's where we first see some prepositions. Prepositions of place. In other words, when we're saying where things are, on, under, behind, in front of, and they're all in my level 1 book on page 34. Okay, if you well, of the new page 34 of the new style level 1 book. That's prepositions of place. And then if you want a real bumper practice of prepositions, in my level 3 book on page 75, 75, there's a big practice of all different kinds of prepositions, and there is a video on that as well, which again I'll put in the description box. So if you, when you do this practice, you find that your prepositions are lacking, those are the places to, as far as my method is concerned, to find out about them. Okay, so there's quite a few of these, so I'm doing them 2 at a time. So normally I hold up the whole thing, but this is just on prepositions. There's not all different ones in this video. So I'm going to do them 2 at a time. I'm going to hold up 2 sentences. If you've done these videos before, you know you need a pen and a piece of paper to write down the sentences, or write down the translations at least. Okay, so number 1. I walked along the river in spite of the weather. Number 2, the apple tree is beside the house. The flowers are around the house. Okay, so that's the 2. Hope you can see it okay. That's the 2 sentences that you'll be translating. So now's the time, pause the video and either translate them off there or write them down. So, el español de estos frases, these sentences. Número 1. Now, there are 3 ways we could say I walked. Now, in the actual exam that they put, fui de pie. So, that's worth knowing. They might want that in the GCSE. But personally, I would say anduve or caminé. For I walked. Fui de pie or anduve or caminé a lo largo del río a pesar del tiempo. A pesar de is in spite of. Número 2, el manzano. So notice that apple tree is masculine, whereas apple, manzana, is feminine. El manzano está al lado de la casa. Las flores están alrededor de la casa. Okay, so how did you do? Okay, next two. And remember, you can always pause if there's anything you don't catch, you just pause and rewind. That's why I'm not repeating things so much, because I suddenly thought, well, I'm repeating, but really, people probably don't want to hear me go repeating over and over again. If you need a repeat, you can just rewind. Of course, not that you rewind these days. That was the old days of videos. But whatever you do with things nowadays. Okay, so number 3. Tres. Before arriving, I stopped near his house. Number 4. It is under the window against the wall. So again, pause your video, write them down, or leave it up there on the screen to translate. And the Spanish is: Antes de llegar, again, llegar or llegar is okay, not llegar. Antes de llegar, me paré cerca de su casa. Okay, did you have that okay? Número 4, está debajo de la ventana contra la pared. Está debajo de la ventana contra la pared. I'll hold them up for a while just so that you can pause them, or you might want to take a photo of them, whatever. Okay, so next two, the English, el inglés para los próximos 2 preguntas. Número 5, from the house, you can see it in front of you. Number 6, after arriving, he put the coat behind the door. So I don't have to repeat them. I'm presuming you know how to speak English. Okay. What did you have? So, número 5. Desde la casa puedes verlo delante de ti. Y número 6. Después de llegar, puso el abrigo detrás de la puerta. So, desde la casa puedes verlo delante de ti. Después de llegar, puso el abrigo detrás de la puerta. Es número 6. Okay. Ay, Dios. It's quite strange, actually, sometimes teaching when I do feel like I'm talking to people. I mean, I am, obviously, I'm talking to you, but I can't see you. But it's funny because I do have that feeling that I am speaking directly with someone. So it's quite nice, really. But it's always nice to get comments, etc., because then I know that people are actually watching. I mean, I know people are watching because of the views, but comments obviously bring it back into the real world. I'm waffling on, sorry. Okay, number 7. During the exam, he smoked instead of writing. And number 8, the flat is opposite the cinema, between 2 shops, and is above a post office. So again, I'm not going to repeat that because I'm presuming that your English is perfectly okay. So I'll just hold it up so you can write it down, or you can pause it so you can do the translation from that picture. Okay, let's see what Spanish was. Número 7. Durante el examen, fumo en vez de escribir. So, durante el examen, fumo en vez de escribir. Y número 8. El piso está enfrente del cine, entre 2 tiendas y está encima de o sobre una oficina de correos. El piso está enfrente del cine, entre dos tiendas, y está encima de o sobre una oficina de correos. ¿Vale? How did you do? Again, any queries? Just drop me a note in comments or send me a message and I will try and resolve any doubts that you might have. Okay, number 9 and 10. Number 9, he is travelling towards Valencia and won't arrive until 8. And number 10, she earns more than me. She earns more than 2,000 euros a month. So we have, he is travelling towards Valencia and won't arrive until 8. And number 10, she earns more than me. She earns more than 2,000 euros a month. I don't know why I repeated that. I wasn't going to do that. But anyway, there's your sentences. I think it's just habit. So, número 9. Viaja hasta Valencia y no llegará hasta las 8. ¿Ya? Viaja hasta Valencia y no llegará hasta las 8. You could say las 8 en punto, but you don't need the en punto. Número 10. Gana más que yo. Gana más de o más que 2.000 euros either al mes o por mes. Gana más que yo, gana más de o más que 2.000 euros al mes o por mes. ¿Vale? Número 11. The English. According to his friends, he went off without his money, everything except his credit card. And number 12, we arrived about 6 and talked about the weather. Okay. So the answers. Número 11, según sus amigos, se fue sin su dinero, todo salvo su tarjeta de crédito. So again, we could put an L in there if we want to make it clear it's he. Según sus amigos, se fue sin su dinero, todo salvo su tarjeta de crédito. Y número 12, llegamos sobre las 6 y hablamos sobre el tiempo. Llegamos sobre las 6 y hablamos sobre el tiempo. ¿Vale? ¿Sí? How are you doing? How are prepositions going? Oh, that's the last one. Vale. Oh, sí, porque there's 12, yeah. Ok, so, ¿qué tal? ¿Has hecho bien? ¿Tienes todos correctos or es un desastre? What? Have you got them all right or is it a total disaster? I doubt very much if it's a total disaster. But anyway, any queries, as I say, just let me know. Of course, all the other videos that are relevant to this particular test of prepositions I will put in the description box and where you can find these sections in the books. And yeah, just keep practicing, isn't it? I mean, it sort of never ends in a way, because sometimes people will say to me when they first, I'm always a bit wary of anyone who says to me when they start Spanish, oh, how long will it take me to learn? Because it's like, really, how long is a piece of string and how much do you want to learn? So it won't take you very long to learn something, like a month's intensive course. By the end of an intensive course, you should be able to have a basic conversation, but, how far do you want to go? everybody, some people just learn enough that they need for restaurants and just sort of generally going to the shops, etc. And they're quite happy with that, and that's fine. And I think that's brilliant. Anybody who tries to learn anything, to me, I think is fantastic. Then other people want to go further. They get the book for it a little bit. I was a bit like that because I had no Spanish when I first came to Spain many years ago. They get a book for it and they want to learn more, and there's always more to learn. Okay, so bueno. So if you found it useful, same, you know the drill. Please give me a thumbs up if you don't mind, and please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you ever so much. I've got quite a lot of subscribers now, so I'm very happy with that. Thank you ever so much. I appreciate every single person that's subscribed, every single view, every single thumbs up. It honestly does mean something to me. Yeah, thumbs up, subscribe. Then apparently there's a notification bell, which means that you get notification of new videos. So maybe press that. I'm not actually sure where that is or how you do that, but if you know. And vale. Que tu Dios vaya, I'm waffling on again, sorry. Que tu Dios vaya contigo y te veo en el próximo video. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.